Welcome to the online school. Today we talk about William Shakespeare. Not this, but this. William Shakespeare had a great effect on our modern day's language and literature. But not only language and literature, also our social abilities. He was the one that taught us about what's right and what's wrong. In dark times, he was the light. He closed the gap between the poor and the rich. In this documentary we will talk about William Shakespeare, not only about the things he accomplished, but also about a man himself. Who was he? What was his background? To help us with that we have some specialists. And I will be your guide. I will guide you in the adventure of this documentary. Enjoy! Alright, this is a special moment in our documentary because we are going to talk about the life of William Shakespeare. And you think, how can you talk about a life? How can you talk in 2 minutes about the life of 52 years? Yeah, William Shakespeare died at the age of 52. But we can do that. We can do that because we have Julia. It's the ultimate fact machine. I ate too much sugar, but she can do this. And yeah, she is going to tell you now about the facts about William Shakespeare life. And with it, we have some nice music. It's nice, isn't it? Enjoy.
April 23, 1564. William Shakespeare was born. He spent his early years in Stratford, where he attended Stratford Grammar School until he was 14 years old. There were no documented facts about the life of William Shakespeare between leaving school in 1578 and marrying Anne Hathaway in 1582. This time is therefore referred to as the first lost years. 1582. He married Anne Hathaway, who was older than him. The second lost years, between 1582 and 1592, there were only 4 facts about William Shakespeare. 2 entries of the baptism of his children in 1583 and 1585. In 1589, a court of documents named William Shakespeare and his parents in a land dispute. And in 1592, he is referred to in a very famous pamphlet called The Groatworth of Wit. A groat was a coin worth a small amount of money. 11th of August 1596. His son Hamlet dies, possibly from the bubonic plague, at the age of 11. 20th of October. John Shakespeare, the father of Shakespeare, is granted the coat of arms. 1598. Shakespeare and other members of the company financed the building of the Globe Theatre. 1599. The Global Theatre is built on Bankside. 8th of October, 1600. The registration of his famous play, A Midsummer's Night's Dream. 1604. First performance of Othello. 1613. 29th of June. Fire destroyed the Global Theatre during a performance of Henry VIII. 1614. The second Global Theatre was built. 23rd of April, 1616. The death of William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare died at the age of 52.
Welcome to part 2 of the online lesson about William Shakespeare. We just saw a couple of videos about the life of William Shakespeare, about his background, but let's face it, everybody knows him because of his novels, plays and poems. So in the next couple of videos we're going to talk about that. And it was very hard for William Shakespeare. He didn't have the special effects. He needed to use his words. He needed to put power in his words to convince the public. We have special effects, but William couldn't do, for example, this. Hey! Where am I? Oh! Yeah! Hugo told me about this. William Shakespeare couldn't do this. I really like that man. William Shakespeare changed the world. Yeah, he really did that. Hey, Suske and Wiske. So, that's enough. Bye bye. So, William Shakespeare couldn't do that, but he could something better. Entertain the people. So, our specialists are going to talk about that. And enjoy!
Hamlet is the longest tragedy and even the longest play written by Shakespeare. It is believed to be written between 1599 and 1601. The first time it has been performed was in 1600. The famous quote, "To be or not to be, that's the question," comes from the play Hamlet.
To be or not to be, that's the question. My uncle killed my father. The snake sits now on the throne. And my mother, did she know? I want revenge or no? I want love or no? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to be or not to be. When I look at the sky, I'm confused.
Henry,
like
what's
a
this?
bird in the sky.
Did you kill your wife again? Henry, look at me. We talked about this. You cannot just split up the church or kill all your wives. Henry,
Romeo and Juliet.
say sorry.
Romeo and Juliet is one of the
Sorry.
most famous tragedy plays wrote by
Correct.
Shakespeare.
No, for the
The
next
famous
coming
scene
6
of Romeo,
months,
where you can
no
still see the
executions.
balcony where Juliet is
No executions.
Romeo and Juliet is about two people, Romeo and Juliet. But they're both from a different noble family. In the play, Romeo and Juliet fall in love in their first meeting, but because they were both from a different noble family, they could not get married. This is why they got married in secret. But after the marriage, the family war still continues. Juliet's cousin kills Romeo's best friend, but Romeo wants revenge. So he kills the cousin of Juliet. This leads him to being banned from the city. Juliet's father wants Juliet to marry another guy. Juliet doesn't want this. She is prepared to kill herself. But someone says she can also take a poison from which she will seem to be dead, but she won't. And then she will miss the marriage. But Romeo never got a letter with an explanation of Juliet's fake death. So when he sees Juliet, he takes the poison as well, but a big amount, from which he will die. When Juliet wakes up, she sees that Romeo is dead. So she takes the dagger and stabs herself.
Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo?
I'm here.
So romantic. No, just a joke. We just saw a very romantic thing. You know, it was a story about passion and love. But now we're going to switch over to something totally different. A story about Henry VIII. Romeo and I like it. Alright, enjoy what.
Henry VIII was written by Shakespeare. It was based on the actual monarch of England and the turbulent events. It also tells about the people who were important in Henry VIII's life. The quote, "Press not a falling man too far," comes from this play.
Macbeth is the shortest tragedy written by Shakespeare. It's written between 63 and 67. It's based on a real-life story about the Scottish king Macbeth of Scotland. It's first printed in 1623, and as William Shakespeare clearly did not want his work to be published, the details of the play would have therefore been noted, and often printed without his consent, following a performance. The settings are Scotland and England, and it's believed that the play was first performed between 65 and 66.
These were a few of Shakespeare's famous plays, but Shakespeare did not only write plays, he also wrote poems. He exactly wrote 154 sonnets and a few longer poems.